Just like is Deco tweeted him for stress until they realized he was pregnant. For Deco thoughts. Like, so the link to the video will be the discipline below. Go and check them out. So let's introduce vaccine in 3, 2, 1. Uh-oh.
Marcus Chin sat in the sterile examination room for the 5th time that month, clutching his swollen abdomen. The pain had become unbearable, and the nausea never seemed to end.
Really?
3 different doctors had told him the same thing: severe stress and anxiety. They prescribed meditation, therapy, and anti-anxiety medication. Nothing worked. The 32-year-old software engineer had always been healthy. He ran marathons, ate organic food, and never missed his annual checkups. But for the past 4 months, his body had been betraying
Yep, that's a baby bump. Yep.
him in ways he couldn't explain. His stomach grew rounder despite cutting calories. His chest felt tender and sensitive. The fatigue was crushing. Something
Yep, pregnant.
was terribly wrong, and nobody could figure out what. Marcus first noticed the changes in late January. He woke up one morning feeling nauseous, rushing to the bathroom just in time. He blamed it on the Chinese takeout from the night before. But the nausea returned the next day and the day after that. Soon, it became his unwelcome morning ritual. His colleagues at the tech startup noticed he looked different. His face seemed fuller, almost glowing. His clothes fit strangely, tight around the middle but loose everywhere else. When asked if he'd gained weight, Marcus would laugh it off nervously. He'd actually been trying to lose weight, confused by his expanding waistline. The exhaustion came next. He'd fall asleep at his desk, struggling to keep his eyes open during important meetings. Energy drinks and coffee did nothing. His boss suggested he take time off to deal with his stress levels. Marcus agreed, thinking rest might help. It didn't. Dr. Patterson was the first physician Marcus visited. The doctor ran basic blood tests, checked his vitals, and asked about his work life. Marcus explained the long hours, the pressure of multiple deadlines, and the recent promotion that came with crushing responsibility. The diagnosis came quickly: occupational stress disorder with possible depression. Dr. Patterson prescribed antidepressants and suggested Marcus join a yoga class. Marcus left the office feeling dismissed, but willing to try anything. 2 weeks passed with no improvement. His abdomen continued to swell. Strange flutters moved inside his belly, feelings he'd never experienced before. He convinced himself they were muscle spasms or digestive issues. The mind could play tricks when stressed, right? The second doctor, a gastroenterologist, suspected irritable bowel syndrome or possibly a tumor. More tests were ordered. Ultrasounds of his abdomen were scheduled. Marcus waited anxiously for results that might explain his deteriorating condition. Dr. Sarah Kim was the radiologist assigned to perform Marcus's ultrasound. She'd done thousands of these scans in her 15-year career. She expected to find a cyst, maybe an enlarged organ, or perhaps nothing at all. What she saw on the screen made her freeze. She adjusted the transducer, moving it across Marcus's abdomen slowly. The image became clearer. Her hands started trembling. There, on the black and white screen, was an unmistakable shape: a tiny head, developing limbs, a beating heart. Dr. Kim excused herself, her face pale. She returned with 2 colleagues, both senior radiologists. They needed to confirm what seemed medically impossible. All 3 doctors stared at the monitor in stunned silence. The images didn't lie. Marcus was 20 weeks pregnant. The hospital's chief of medicine was called immediately. Marcus waited in the examination room, sensing something serious had happened. The atmosphere had shifted dramatically. Nurses whispered in corners. Doctors held hurried conferences in the hallway. When Dr. Kim finally returned, she brought a team of specialists. An endocrinologist, a geneticist, an obstetrician, and a psychologist all filed into the small room. Marcus's heart pounded. This many doctors meant cancer or something terminal. He prepared himself for devastating news. Nothing could have prepared him for what they said. Dr. Kim explained gently that the ultrasound revealed a developing fetus in his abdominal cavity. Marcus laughed, certain this was a mistake or cruel joke. But their faces remained serious, compassionate, and utterly professional. They showed him the ultrasound images, pointing out the tiny features of what appeared to be a healthy, growing baby. The room spun. Marcus gripped the examination table to keep from falling. The medical team worked quickly to understand Marcus's condition. Extensive genetic testing revealed something extraordinary. Marcus had an extremely rare chromosomal variation that had gone undetected his entire life.
Really?
He possessed functional ovarian tissue that had remained dormant until recently. The endocrinologist explained that certain hormonal changes, possibly triggered by stress and environmental factors, had activated this tissue. What
Wow.
followed was the medical equivalent of a 1 in a billion lottery. Somehow, conception had occurred, and the embryo had implanted in his abdominal cavity, attaching to his intestinal wall. This was called an ectopic pregnancy, but in a location and situation never documented in medical literature. The baby was growing, thriving even, in an environment that shouldn't have been able to sustain life. Marcus was experiencing something unprecedented in modern medicine. The news spread through the hospital like wildfire, though staff were sworn to confidentiality. Marcus spent 3 days in the hospital undergoing every test imaginable. The specialists delivered sobering news. Continuing the pregnancy was extraordinarily dangerous. Abdominal pregnancies rarely survived, and they posed life-threatening risks to the carrier. Internal bleeding, organ damage, and severe complications during delivery were all but guaranteed. The doctors recommended immediate termination for Marcus's safety. But Marcus had heard something else during all those medical explanations. He'd heard the word healthy when they described the fetus's heartbeat. He'd seen the tiny movements on the ultrasound screen. Against all logic and medical advice, something stirred inside him beyond the physical presence of this unexpected life. He asked for time to think. His family's reaction ranged from disbelief to support. His mother cried, overwhelmed by the impossibility and danger of the situation. His sister, a nurse herself, researched obsessively, looking for any precedent or guidance. His best friend simply sat with him in silence, holding his hand. Marcus had 72 hours to decide whether to continue the most dangerous pregnancy in medical history. After sleepless nights and countless consultations, Marcus made his decision. He would continue the pregnancy, fully aware of the risks. The medical team assembled an unprecedented care plan. Weekly monitoring, a team of specialists on standby, and preparations for an extremely complex cesarean delivery. The pregnancy progressed against all odds. Each week brought new milestones and new fears. Marcus's body adapted in ways that baffled his doctors. His abdomen expanded to accommodate the growing baby. His hormone levels adjusted.
Really?
Nature, it seemed, found a way even in the most impossible circumstances. At 36 weeks, the
Literally.
team decided delivery could wait no longer. The risks of continuing outweighed the benefits of a few more days. Marcus was prepped for surgery, surrounded by 17 medical professionals ready for anything. The operation took 6 hours. Complications arose, just as predicted, but the surgical team navigated each crisis with precision. When the baby finally emerged,
Oh.
crying and pink and perfect, the operating room erupted in tears and applause. Marcus survived. Against astronomical odds, both father and child came through the impossible. Recovery was long and painful. Marcus had multiple surgeries to repair internal damage. But when he held his daughter for the first time,
Oh.
every moment of
Oh.
pain and fear felt worth it. She was named Hope because that's what she
Oh.
represented against insurmountable odds. The medical community was astounded. Papers were written. Research began into the chromosomal variation that made Marcus's pregnancy possible. Other individuals came forward with similar genetic markers, though none had experienced pregnancy. Marcus's case opened new frontiers in reproductive medicine and gender biology. His story, once shared publicly, sparked global conversations about the nature of gender, pregnancy, and what the human body could achieve. Some celebrated the miracle. Others struggled to accept the implications. Marcus simply focused on raising his daughter and recovering his health. Life would never be normal again, but it would be extraordinary. The human body holds
Yes.
mysteries beyond our current understanding, and what seems impossible today may become tomorrow's medical reality. Trust your
Mm.
instincts when you know something is wrong, even when every expert disagrees. If you enjoyed this remarkable story, share it with someone who loves medical mysteries and tales of the impossible. Subscribe for more true stories that challenge everything we think we know about human biology.
Wow. Wow. The attacker tweeting him for thrust until they realized he was pregnant. But attacker toss. The link to the video will be the description on below. Go and check them out and drop a like if you like. And comment below if you want to see more reaction like this one. And subscribe if you're new. And click the post so you can be notified when I upload and post and go live in my bye. Wow.